Hi everyone, it's Linnea. Today I'm going to be using the Homegrown with Love stamp set to create 3 easy stamped backgrounds. One of my favorite things to do with solid images is to build up a whole background just stamping them. So I'm going to start out with this large cow image and some Raven hybrid ink, and I just have him set on an acrylic block, and I'm going to ink him up with the Raven ink, stamp him down, and then I'm just going to hold this and really give this stamp a minute to make contact with the paper and transfer the ink to the paper. I find that's the best technique when you have solid stamps, especially a larger solid stamp like this guy here. So I'm just going to repeat this, covering the whole background with this cute little cow image until I have a full card stamped with him. I love this Homegrown with Love stamp set. I grew up in the country, and it was no big deal for the neighbor's cow from up the road to just kind of wander down, and I love this stamp set because it reminds me of home and it has that awesome country feel to it. So I finished up that cow background, and now I'm going to make one with this little chicken. Another thing that reminds me of home, when I was a kid, my dad had chickens, and he still does raise chickens for the eggs today. So I love this little chicken stamp. I'm going to be using 2 colors of hybrid ink, Iced Tea and Dandelion, and I will just alternate back and forth between these two, filling up my whole background. Now, you saw me a minute or two ago using the Extreme Clean Stamp Cleaner from LDRS Creative. This has become a staple in my craft room. I just recently placed another order for this stamp cleaner, and I think I ordered 4 or 5 of them because this is an awesome cleaner, especially for these hybrid inks. Sometimes hybrid inks are a little bit stubborn and don't want to come clean off of your photopolymer stamps, but with the Extreme Clean Stamp Cleaner, even if the inks stain a little bit, the stamp comes clean with just one application of the cleaner and then wiping it away, and I just use a microfiber cloth to do that. So now I have a few more images from that Homegrown with Love stamp set. I have the little fruit slice, which you could definitely make this yellow and have a lemon or a lime slice. Even pink for grapefruit would work. And I am stamping it with orange, and I have one of the new ink colors. This is the Tangerine Dream. And then I also have Prickly Pear Perfection for the little leaf here. And then I stamped out the mason jar. So I used Raven Hybrid ink, and I also stamped that little sentiment in the center with another new color of ink. It's the Tickled Pink Hybrid ink. This hybrid ink it dries to the touch, but it kind of stays wet on the paper. So I embossed it with clear embossing powder from LDRS Creative. Now, I apologize, I cut out most of this coloring because I got my big head in the way, but I'm coloring this drink to match my background. My mom she just calls it orange drink. It's just fresh squeezed oranges with some lemons, and it's like a fun, healthy, citrusy drink. And so she makes this all the time, and it kind of the stamp set reminded me of that. So I'm just filling up this mason jar with my mom's orange drink, and then I will cut that out and add that to my orange stamped background. Speaking of which, everything's dry now, so I'm going to just line up the die for that little jar. And then the thank you sentiment, I stamped that twice with the Raven Hybrid ink, and that has a coordinating die as well, which is super awesome because I love to cut out my sentiments. And I really love when the stamp sets have dies that match the sentiment because it saves me from fussy cutting a little bit. So I stamped that twice, and that will be for my little farm animal backgrounds. Now, when I put the sentiment onto my cards, I thought it was kind of getting lost a little bit, and it was just not working for me. So I grabbed the Farmer's Market 6x6 paper pad, and I thought that I would use the stitch circle dies and cut that out, but the circle, even the largest one, it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. So instead, I grabbed a different pattern. I grabbed this, I think it's called gingham, but I just call it picnic table or a picnic blanket. You know how you just take those red checked picnic blankets with you. At least I always did. So, and I cut those out with the stitched square dies, and then I cut one of the blue checked pattern as well to go with my little chicken background. and I'm going to use a little bit of foam tape behind those cutout squares and put those right in the center of my cards. And that's going to finish all 3 cards. So let's take a look at these. Here's the one that I made with the orange slices, and then my mom's famous orange drink in that little jar. I thought it was super cute. I have the little cow stamped background with my picnic table pattern paper, and then the cute little chicken one with that blue pattern paper. I really hope you enjoyed these easy stamped backgrounds with the Homegrown with Love stamp set. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon. Bye!